Hello everyone, this is Mr. Isometric and welcome back to Unity Bolt car tutorial series. And in the last video we have made a camera follower script right over here. So let's today make our car move. So to do that, let's just first select our car, add component, then we will select, go into Bolt, select a flow machine, and let's create a new macro. Inside the macros folder we will call it car movement. Okay, I'll just give it a title to car movement. Nice. Let's delete everything. Okay, so first we have to do is we have to take the instance of each and every mesh and each and every collider. So to do that, let's just assign them in the scene variable. Okay, I'll just create first each and every mesh object. So front right wheel, game object, or I think I'll just take the transform of them. We'll drag and drop front right wheel in the here, and then front left wheel. We will also take its transform. Nice. And then back right wheel, and then back left wheel. Now let's take all the four colliders. Front right wheel collider, and this time we will choose wheel collider. Now let's make front left wheel collider. Okay, wheel collider, front left wheel, and then let's choose back right wheel collider, wheel collider, and now back left wheel collider. Okay, so now that we have taken the instance of each and everything we are going to need, and one thing I like to say is that each and every work which wheel does is done by this wheel collider, and this mesh is just for the visual purpose. So even if you script these wheel colliders, your car is going to work, and it doesn't matter if they rotate or move. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to move and rotate these wheel colliders, and we are going to assign their position and rotation to these meshes so that they update with these wheel colliders. Okay, so let's do it. What I'll first do is let's add some motor torque to the back right wheel. Okay, so let's just first take the instance back right wheel collider and back left wheel collider. So we need to add some torque to it. I'll just search for motor. We need motor torque. See in here wheel collider set motor torque, so we'll be needing the two of them. Okay, as you can see, I am scripting the flow machine is on the simple car and not on this wheel colliders. So this self represents the simple car and not this wheel collider. So to make an instance of this back right wheel collider, we will just plug this back right wheel collider into the cell, into the object properties. Okay, and now whatever the torque we set here, the torque will be applied to this back right wheel collider, and same goes. Let's control D to duplicate it. Oops, let's control D to duplicate this node, and we will plug this into that. Okay, so now we have to give some torque, and instead of hard coding the torque in the numerical value, let's make another variable and name it some torque. Wheel torque, and let's make it a float value. Okay, so now when we press W or S or up or down arrow key, we want to set its torque to the specified value over here. So to do that, let's just take a add unit, and we will type get axis. So axis, now here it is, input get axis, and now this axis will be a horizontal and vertical. So to find out what axis name you have to give, let's go in edit, project settings, and in the input manager, here in the axis drop down, you can see there are two components, horizontal and vertical. So in the horizontal value, the key presses are left, right, A and D. So horizontal means going left to right, and in vertical there is up, down, S and W, so which means going in front and backwards. So our front and backwards motion will be governed by this vertical value. So let's just copy this, Control C, and paste that over here. Okay, so this value will now range from -1 to 1, and it will always be set to 0 whenever the key is not pressed. Okay, so as this is going from -1 to 1, we need to multiply that with the wheel torque. So let's select multiply, and let's get this variable wheel torque, and let's multiply that with the wheel torque. So now 1 multiplied by wheel torque is going to be the output of this wheel torque, and it's going to be in our motor torque. So back right wheel collider will have this motor torque. Okay, and same value goes to this back left wheel collider. Okay, so now our wheels have some torque which we will be specified over here. Let's give the torque of I think 1000 for the starting, and I think we should play it now. Let's play that. Okay, so when I press W, nothing happens because we are not updating this list. Let's get out of it. Let's right click and search for update, and as this is a, we will use fixed update. Let's plug that straight into there, and from there into there. Okay, so now code will be executed from this to this. Okay, so this update event is an important thing. Without it, your code won't be executed. I'll just now hit play. Okay, so as you can see, my code is running and the output value is 0 and 0. So if I press W, my car is moving backwards, and if I press S, my car is moving forward. And the reason behind this is that the Z axis is our front axis, and as you can see, our car is totally on the opposite side from the axis. In the scene view, you can see that our Z axis is on the opposite side. So there are two ways you can rectify this, is that you can either rotate your whole car and camera and adjust them again, or you can just invert the input. Or here you can simply just multiply it with -1 and plug that right into it. You can also do one thing, is that in the variables tab, you can change it to -1000, but that won't be I mean that doesn't look so good putting the minus value, right? So we will just invert this input and let's just hit play again. Okay, when I press W now my car moves forward, and when I press S my car moves backwards, and as you can see the output is of 1000. Okay, and just to show that the what wheel colliders are doing, I can simply move my back and left wheel collider a little bit up. Let's select our simple car. In the game view, as you can see my wheel colliders are acting like a wheel, and this mesh doesn't contribute anything but just to visualize things. Okay, when I press W these wheel colliders are working, and same goes to the front wheels. Let's get out of the edit mode or play mode. Okay, so now one thing we have to do is when I press play my car is gliding, and I forgot to rectify this in the previous video. So there, just simply you have to go in your simple car inside the box collider. I forgot to adjust my box collider over from the top view. Okay, so the only thing I have to do is go into the top view. Let's go into the isometric view, and let's just increase its size on the x-axis just so that it fits my car. You have to do this just roughly, don't have to be too accurate. Okay, let's click on this edit button again, and we are done. Let's go into the perspective mode again. Let's hit play. Okay, so my car has stopped gliding. I don't know why that happened, but now it's fixed, and as you can see our suspensions are working great when I move my car front and back. So now let's just update our wheels. Let's update our wheels according to the motion of this wheel collider. So for that we have to take the instance again. You can take number of instance you want, it doesn't matter, they don't have to be once per graph, you can take them again and again. So we have to update our mesh. So which mesh? Back right wheel and back left wheel. So we'll take their instance, back right wheel, drag and drop, back left wheel, drag and drop. Okay, so we just have to set their rotation to the collider rotation, right? We will again take our wheel colliders, back left wheel, back right wheel, but there is just one thing, we need to set them to their rotation. Okay, so what we will do is there is a separate node for the or separate line of code for these wheel colliders, that is get world pose. I'll just type in wheel collider, and then we have to find out get world position. Let's drag down, here it is, get world pose and quaternion is responsible for the rotation. And also now you might be thinking that why do we have to update its position, because our wheel colliders it moves on the y-axis too. Like when suspension acts our car body moves down, but our wheel collider stays in the contact with the road, so they move up and down too. So we have to update its position too with the rotation. So now with the back right wheel collider we will again control D. Let's plug this into that. Okay, so now we have got the position of both the wheel colliders, and now we have to set their position and rotation. So let's drag and drop there. I will type rotation. So now there is a set rotation We also have a combined node which is called as set rotation and look position. So I'll just find that. Okay, here it is, transform inside the transform, set position and rotation. I'll select that. Let's take it a bit further over here. Okay, that looks, at least that looks a little bit neat. Now let's plug this position into the position and rotation into the rotation. So now what we have done is we took our wheel colliders position and rotation, and we have set its position and rotation in the back right wheel collider mesh. Okay, so this set position and rotation refers to this back right wheel collider. We will do the same thing with our back left wheel collider. Let's control D. Let's take our back left wheel collider. Okay, now let's plug this into the that. So now this set position and rotation belongs to this back left wheel collider. We will just plug directly the position and rotation over there. And we also have to update them. You can either drag the input from there, or you can again add another update method. We will use fixed update, as this is related to rigid bodies and colliders. Okay, so there is one thing, you also have to get the input to these wheel colliders, so they update too. I figured that out by when I plugged this into directly the position and rotation, it turned on orange. So if we click on this node and go into the graph inspector, here you can see invoke is required, but it's never entered. So we have to specify the invoke for this, and we can go from here to here. Again, same from there to here, from there to here. And to reduce this mess, we can do one thing, is we can make a super unit. But I think super unit is it's not that hard, but I think I'll do that in the separate video, I think for the next video. But let's just focus on this right now. Okay, so as you can see, we have done our mesh update settings. Okay, so now when we hit play, when I rotate, my wheel rotates with our car. That's really good. If I press S, my wheel stops, and they are updating. As you can see in also scene view, they are updating according to the wheel collider in the world position. Okay, let's get out of the play mode. And now what we have to do is, this is our update method, and this is our going front, forward and backwards. So now let's make a new node network, and in this node network we are going to steer our car. And for steering, we will be needing the front right wheel and front left wheel colliders instance. Let's go in variable, scene variable, and we have already made their instances. So let's just take our front right wheel collider and front left wheel collider, and as you know, steering has some angle. So to define that, we will again make a new variable and name it steer angle. Hit plus, and steer angle will be in float. Okay, so now what we have to do is just drag and drop. As this is already a wheel collider, we can just drag and drop it here, and let's type STER steer. And as you can see, we got a wheel collider get steer angle, but we don't want a get, we need a set the steer angle. And for some reason it is way below the the fuzzy finder is still a little bit bugged, so let's cut them some slack. I think wheel collider set steer angle, and whatever angle you set over here will be set for the wheel colliders. Okay, I'll just go my scene view over here like this, so that you can visualize the steer angle. Okay, and now let's control D to duplicate it. Let's plug this into there, and now let's take this steer angle, get its instance. Also, as we did from the back, we took a get axis. Okay, I'll just control D, because now this time we will be using horizontal component of this get axis. So let's go in file. You actually don't have to do this again and again, but just for the first time sake, I'll go in project settings and in input manager axis. As you can see, we have used our horizontal for up, down and SW. We need vertical. I'll just control C to copy this. You don't have to copy, you just have to make this wordings correct. The capital letter should be capital and small should be small. So let's just cut this, and as you can see, we already have our vertical over here. Okay, wait a second, I think we have used vertical, we need horizontal. Okay, my bad, we needed the horizontal one. Okay, so now what we'll do again, this goes from -1 to 0 to 1. So we will be needed to be multiply it with our steer angle, and we can directly plug that into the steer angle. So if this is 30, our steering will go to the 30-degree, right? So our wheel colliders are now being rotated, but also we need to update this method. Let's add unit, fixed update. Let's plug that into there and plug that into there, and now this both will be updating per frame. Let's zoom out a little bit, and we will specify our steer angle to be 30-degree. My main focus is on the scene view because I'm going to show you something. Okay, let's just select one wheel collider. Let's hit play. Okay, so now when I press A and D, you can see my car is moving. Now I'm pressing D and my car is moving on the left side, sorry, the right side. Okay, so car is working fine. And just to show how the wheel colliders are working with the steer angle, car is a bit slow because my torque is really low. So now what I'll do is I'll just take this both the mesh and I'll just make them go up a little bit. And now let's select our simple car, and as you can see, when I steer, when I press A, my wheel collider steers. Okay, when I press W and steer, you can see my wheels are steering. Now the only thing we have to do is get out of the play mode. Okay, so now we just have to update our mesh. We can again do this setup, right? So to do this again, for the front wheels we just need to control D to duplicate everything. Let's move it, let's double click and expand our graph. Select this and then everything. Okay, let's move it over here, right below, or let's say over here. This sounds good. Okay, so now what we have to do is just change their names from back right wheel to front right wheel and stuff. Okay, so can we select from here? Okay, there it is, front right wheel, and from here front right wheel collider, right, FRWC, here it is, front left wheel and front left wheel collider. Okay, so now as this both are same, front left wheel, right wheel and right wheel, I think this should do it. Okay, so now our car mesh is moving with it. I'll just expand the size of the game view, and as you can see our car is moving, and we are done with the tutorial of Unity Bolt car tutorial series. And now you just have to play with the rigid body mass of this car and force applied to the wheel torque. You can also apply torque to these front wheels also at the same time. In that way, with the really less torque, you can move your car a little bit faster. Okay, I think I'll adjust my camera a little bit.
Let's select our camera, move that down. Okay, I think our camera looks good. Let's hit play again. Okay, our camera is snapping. I think that's because our offset is not that great. I think I'll make this 9. Let's go up a little bit, like 5. Okay, so new values are 5 and 9. Let's get out of the play mode. Let's make this 5, let's make this 9. Control S to save. Let's hit play again. Okay, so now our car moves and I'm pressing W now. S, sorry D, A, D, A, now S. Right, now let's just go in the scene view. Let's change our wheel top to somewhat 2000 now. Let's hit play again and see what happens. If the wheel top goes above certain limit, you have to manipulate some values. Okay, our car is moving up a little bit faster.
Okay, so now I think what we should do is we should apply some brake to our car. In the back right wheel and back left wheel, we'll just control D, duplicate them, let's drag them down, and let's make our window big. So in the wheel collider there is something known as brake torque, so let's apply some brake. When we hit the space bar, I'll just search for brake, and in here you can see we got set brake torque for the wheel colliders. Let's set their brake torque, control D to duplicate. This was for the back right wheel, this is for the back left wheel, and the value here goes, okay, let's move the windows on the left side. In the scene variable, let's create something brake variable. Okay, so brake torque, okay, hit plus, and it will be a float value. Let's drag and drop it over here, and this brake torque should be given in here. Just a note, don't make the brake torque greater than the wheel torque, it won't look that good. And for the update method, I can just pull the update from over there, or I can again control D to duplicate and make a separate for this one. Let's plug them right over there. Okay, so now our brake torque is set. Let's tidy it up a little bit. Okay, so now we are done, and let's apply the brake torque of, I think as it's 2000, I think I'll apply of 500, or let's just say 1000. Okay, double click on the graph window to minimize it and double click for maximizing it. Okay, or setting it to full screen, or you can use this button, full screen. Okay, so let's just make our car apply some brake, but there is something missing over here, which is the key press, and I think I forgot it. Let's make the key press also. Right click, press key. So we will take input get key, the first one. Let's search for space, and space is over here. So when we hit space bar, we want it to be a brake torque, and when we don't press the space bar, we don't want it to be a brake torque, we want it set to the 0. Okay, so what we will do is now is I'll just bring it down over there. So when I hit space bar on my keyboard, this output turns out either to be true and a false. So let's drag and drop, and I will select something. Let's make that into the top, and let's plug that into the wheel brake torque. Okay, set brake. So when we press spacebar, this will turn true, and we want a true value, which is our brake torque, and when it is false, we want it to be nothing but a 0. I'll just select a float value. Okay, now double click on the graph again. Let's visualize our code. Let's hit play. Okay, so now let's press W, spacebar, and as you can see, our car gets stopped. Left, right, spacebar, and our car stops. Okay, it's just to visualize the suspension of the car. Let's create some scene objects such as some capsules, which will visualized as some roadblocks or bumps. Create object, capsule.
Okay, so now we'll just transform reset. Let's drag them in the front of the car. Rotate them on the Y with some 90 degrees. Okay. We will also increase its scale on the X. And scale on the Y. Okay. That kind of looks good. Let's move it down a little bit, right over there. We will just control D and move them in the front. Control D, move in the front. I don't know the faster way to do this. We don't make too much, it's just for visual purpose. Okay, so now let's, I think that's enough. Let's set our view to this angle. Looks good. This away.
Okay, and you can see our car in the game view as well as in scene view. So let's drag this down, drag this over there, set to graph view, and drag this right over there. Now let's hit play and see our car in action. When I go forward, as you can see, my car is reacting to the bumps. You can now play with the settings of the suspension and the mass of the car, and especially the target position. Okay, so our car tutorial is done. Hope you all enjoyed it. You now just have to go in your simple car or alt to undock everything, and in this wheel collider select everything, and you can change this wheel dampening rate, suspension rate, and force applied. And here in the target position, I can set it to 1 for some cool looking results. It's working pretty well. It's colliding with the collider. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. It was a pretty long video. So I think in the next video I will be talking about how to make this graph a bit cleaner. Like visualizing this is pretty hard. We can make groups and super units. Super units are like making your own nodes. Okay, so if you want that tutorial, just comment down below. If you think this is knowledgeable or was helpful, please do like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe for the future videos. And thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you all in the next video. Bye bye.